All right, good morning and welcome in to a Thursday show this morning as we are rolling on through the week, chipping away at the days until calendar.
Slow season.
As it is, it's 16 days until LSU kicks off versus Clemson in Clemson, South Carolina, as the number 9 ranked Tigers will take on the number 4 ranked Tigers, and I don't think we can wait much longer. Lloyd, good morning.
Hit me with did a little math pop quiz before the show, breaking down some numeros. So that's one way to get the brain all firing.
There you go, the brain working.
Get that calculator out.
How was
Pins down.
How was the return of Mic'd Up last night?
It was great. It has been quite the hiatus, only for it to be short-lived, as Friday we were off. But it was great to be back with the fellas, be able to see Jay Mitch after his – he was pissed. Because
of course he was.
His gold at bat or whatever for the party animals. He's like, they finally had video of it. I just saw him come out the tunnel.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Oh, you saw the AB finally.
Uh-huh. And he's like, he threw me 5 straight sliders. Like, I thought we were trying to give the people a show. You're trying to strike me out? He's like, I haven't swung a bat in 6 years. Like, this is ridiculous. And he comes out the batter's box, he looks at it and goes, you a bitch.
That is that is stupid. Like,
you're not going to get signed?
You got an LSU legend walking out, throwing off the gold cloak.
And you took it personally?
Just give him a meatball down the middle.
Oh, at least throw him a fastball.
Yeah, I mean,
lefty slider, like
5
cool,
straight
man.
sliders is great. I tell you what, I watched the AB and he fought him off.
Well, yeah,
Like, he
he's
put
like,
together a great
okay,
AB.
I get it. It's like,
Right.
give me one.
Yeah.
No.
Never got one. But good morning. Glad to see all your names, faces, and profile pictures over there in the chat. Glimmer Fredette, Morning Ting Pins, love y'all. Hope y'all are having an amazing morning. Savion Green, what up, folks? Alex Futch, let's get it. Let's go. Morning fam. Fonz, I'll let Lloyd take the...
Good morning, come guzzlers.
Let's have a great show, boys. Artman Hall, go Tigers. Good to be back this morning. Glad to sit here and talk to y'all. It's just me and Lloyd this morning. A tight studio. Nobody else here. But hopefully in a few days we'll have a pretty fun announcement to make to you guys as we are putting some stuff in the works. But good morning. Happy to be here. Let's give a little rundown of the headlines this morning as I would assume LSU's off practice today. I'll double check the schedule, but usually they get I feel like Thursdays have been their off day.
Recovery day?
As of late. But if you didn't see on social media, Lloyd, I have this one linked in the document. They put out a nice little mix of practice, and when I watched this video that we're going to show you, I wondered, where is that Xavion Thomas catch?
No, it deserves a standalone.
And it deserved a standalone. We'll show you both clips from LSU football practice as they've been grinding it out on the Ponderosa here, fall camp. The good thing is it hasn't been too hot. You know, I mean, obviously they probably feel differently.
I don't think so, man. Like, we've been to a couple of practices throughout the years, and I mean, obviously it's Louisiana, but it is not. There's been some times when you got some titty sweat going. You're like, boys, need to get to the AC.
Donde está el agua?
Yes.
Please.
I forgot it. But then you have to, like, we do the practice report after, like, get to the studio. We just sit in our car.
Yeah.
Like, air.
Just
So
let the AC
those
blow.
are the times, but it hasn't felt like that.
Especially on Tuesday, the overcast was nice. Felt good out there.
Every single play is crucial. I want execution. That's the bottom line. Big O, 1, 2, 1, 2. Big O.
Sorry, Fonz, didn't mean to hit the table there. I cannot wait for football to officially be back, for the Tigers to get on the field against Clemson on August 30th. And every time these videos come out,
They still hit.
it fires me up every time. Fonz, hashtag Ask Tingle and Co. I'm pretty sure I saw No in the background of the Xavion catch, leaned back with that knee locked. I was in the background.
That Will Campbell stance?
Yeah, come on. Locked out. Short arms. I was in the background of it. But let's run that Xavion catch. This is the one that we've all been talking about for a handful of days, where we just have been glowing in remarks over this Nussmeier throw, Xavion catch for a touchdown at practice on Tuesday that we weren't able to video. So we didn't get video of it, but we kept trying to paint the picture for you as much as we could. And finally, LSU football decided to put the video of the play out, and it was even better than I remembered as Xavion goes up and over the 6'5 DB that is DJ Pickett. As Xavion Thomas, do we have the measurables on him? 5'10", 192, goes up over 6'5", comes down with the ball. Great throw by Nussmeier. Was it the best decision? Maybe I was pretty covered, but hey, when you got that arm,
give your guy a chance to make a play.
You got the playmakers to go up there and make it happen, and they did.
Piggy's not looking.
Such a good throw. Piggy doesn't have his head around. Xavion's got a little bit of space. Nuss puts it where only Zay can go up and get it. Look at that pocket. I mean, DJ gave it a good try trying to punch it out.
Yep.
Got his arm in there, but Xavion held on to the football. Pause it, go back, and pause it right before he throws it. Check this pocket out. Look at that. Check that pocket out. He's chilling. He's just hanging out in the backfield right there. Tyree Adams, Jacoby Guillory matched up.
Yeah.
A little bit of time, have those feet set, go through the progressions, and rip that football into Xavion Thomas's hands.
But there's also some times last year where he got caught kind of drifting.
Yes.
To create space. I don't think that's exactly what it was. He was resetting his feet each time, but that just reminded me of, he would get kind of caught, kind of fading away, as opposed to stepping up, or creating room within the pocket. It became, I can drift back as far as I want.
Yeah,
cannon
for a right arm. I've been really impressed with the way he's manipulated the pocket at fall camps up to this point. He's done a very good job, and that's what makes an offensive line better than they are, is when the quarterback knows. Like I said it on Tuesday when talking about the O-line, was that they just had to be good enough, because if you have a quarterback that's seasoned and experienced and can manipulate the pocket, it'll make them better than they actually are. A lot of times the Joe Moore Award is won because the quarterback makes the offensive line better. This isn't a dish to Lloyd Cushenberry, Damian Lewis, Sadiq Charles, Adrian McGee, and I feel like I'm missing one more tackle. On that offensive line in 2019, they were extremely talented, but Joe Burrow made them look even better than they were. So that's what you need with Garrett Nussmeier this season. Next up on the headlines, obviously there was some sound from the player interviews after practice on Tuesday we did not get to yesterday. We may or may not get to it today to hear from, I think it was Barry and Brown, Trey Green, Ashton Stamps, Bernard Gooden, as they spoke to the media. Some other news put out by Rivals I saw yesterday. LSU is pushing to flip Texas A&M 4-star running back commit KJ Edwards. Edwards is the number 3 running back in the Rivals 300. And obviously, LSU looking to expand that room a little bit. Edwards is from Carthage, Texas, so he's a Texas native and is committed to the Aggies. And obviously, I would assume the Longhorns are pushing after him as well. But, when Frank leaves the state of Louisiana, it's because he's got his eyes focused on a particular back. The last time you saw that was Frank locking in on Caden Durham in that, 2024 class, and getting him to Baton Rouge from Duncanville High School out there in Texas. So we'll see. Obviously, LSU needs some depth in the running back room moving forward in the future. As Trey Holly, obviously a part of Southern's program, and JT Lindsey away from the LSU program right now as he's suspended. It'll be interesting to see how Frank Wilson goes about building that room using the portal or recruiting classes over the next couple of years. I saw this on one of my favorite accounts, at Board Geniuses.
Oh, before we get there,
What you got?
just a little note on KJ Edwards. He did an interview on June 10th, 2025, and said, speaking of LSU, I'm their number one guy. They're not recruiting any other running back or anything like that, so that speaks volumes on how much they're interested in me.
That's the same way Frank was with Caden, with Durham.
Yep.
He literally only recruited Caden Durham out of Duncanville High School in Texas. This is KJ Edwards out of Carthage, Texas, so not a Louisiana guy. But when Frank identifies talent outside the state, he locks in to go get it. And so,
you know how to be Frank's main focus in the running back room would be terrifying.
Do you understand that I'm the greatest recruiter of all time?
And I'm only focused on you.
And I'm just recruiting you at this position? Yes, sir, I'll commit right now.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think I have a choice.
Where's the paper at? I'll sign. But at Board Geniuses, the Message Board Geniuses page, one of my favorite pages to look at on Twitter, went to the Clemson message board. And Francis Marion on the Clemson message board says, I just watched some LSU film, is the title. He said, both from last season and some clips from this spring.
Breaking it down, huh?
/ summer, right? I hope Dabo and staff don't waste another minute preparing for this game. Last season LSU started as a top 13 team, but finished unranked. They are trending down, and I wish we hadn't even taken this game. It would have benefited us more to schedule another playoff caliber team like SMU. I guess we just have to hope no one gets hurt in this glorified Jamboree game as we set our eyes on another ACC championship where we can get the extra money we deserve. Wow.
Hey, just real quick,
Yep.
Francis Marion.
Uh-huh.
SMU's already on your schedule, pal.
Yep, you play SMU already. And if you want another playoff caliber team like SMU, are you going to schedule Boise State? There you go. Add that to the schedule.
Mm-hmm. That'll move the needle.
I mean, look, if Dabo and Clemson want to take Francis's advice and just stop preparing for LSU now, I'm not going to tell them not to.
Get ready for Troy.
But, I mean, a glorified Jamboree got a good chuckle out of me. Kimberly, Noah, why'd you give this guy airtime? I thought it was funny. I thought it was the glorified Jamboree line is what really got me at the end.
Good to know both sides of the spectrum here. LSU has fans like this. Probably on the other side.
I'm sure you can roll through.
The Francis Marions of the world. You know, he doesn't post 35,806 times to not get some credit.
There you go. That's Francis. But I just figured we'd get a good chuckle out of that this morning. Next up, I saw this post yesterday by Speakeasy Sports, and I thought it would be interesting for us to come back to at some point during the show this morning. And it listed 4 teams: Oregon, Alabama, Georgia, and LSU. And it says you have to bet your bank account on one of these teams not making the college football playoff. Which one misses the cut? And from when I scrolled through the replies,
LSU is the predominant
LSU
favorite.
is the favorite through the replies. But I felt like this was an interesting talking point. Obviously, there's 3 SEC teams, 1 Big Ten team. They're all kind of in different places in their program history right now. And I feel like this would be a good little thing to ponder on and then come back at the later on in the show and discuss a little more.
Put it on the poll.
Yeah, we can even put it up on the poll and we can get to it. Maybe a little after 8 a.m. this morning, we'll get back to this question on which team out of these 4 will miss the college football playoff if you had to bet your entire bank account on it. Thought it was very interesting to see. I just feel like these 4 teams are very interesting selections. And there's only one of them on here that has a returning starting quarterback. And that's the one that is the favorite in the replies to not be the one making it into the playoff.
I mean, I think that shows how polarizing LSU's position is this season.
Yes.
And also, don't tell me about the strength of the SEC. You can't find two other teams from two other conferences.
Yeah, you can't get another Big Ten team in here or Big 12. I wonder why you didn't put Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
Probably because they'll make it based on their easy schedule.
Or Boise State because they're going to win their conference.
Yeah, or Michigan because they probably have an easy schedule as well.
Or Ohio State.
We will come back to that question later on this morning. There were 3 Tigers on CBS Sports All-American team for the 2025 season. Garrett Nussmeier, Whit Weeks, and Berrien Brown were all a part of that list. I do believe Nuss and Whit were second team All-Americans. Cade Klubnik was the first team quarterback, and then the first team linebackers were, Anthony Hill Jr. from Texas and Kyle Lewis from Pitt. So those were the first teamers, but second team quarterback Garrett Nussmeier, second team linebacker Whit Weeks, and then Berrien Brown is your first team kick returner. They say he's an electric receiver, but nobody should overlook his value as a returner. A very, very electrifying player on LSU's team. Those are 3 CBS Sports All-Americans on LSU's rosters. 2 claps. Ready. Next up this morning, shout out to Jacques Doucet from WFB. Got a nice clip of the skipper yesterday as he was at the Raising Canes with the TCL champions, the Baton Rouge Rougarou, and he got a nice little sound bite of Skip talking about Jay Johnson and their relationship. I thought was really, really good stuff, getting to hear the greatest of all time talk about LSU's current head coach, the relationship they had, but also his perspective on Jay Johnson as the head coach of the Tigers.
Jay is a spectacular coach, one of the hardest working coaches in the country, and actually knows baseball, and he can apply it to all his players. He can recruit. He practices well with his team. He games well with his team. He's got all the moves, but he also is a great speaker and can motivate his team. I like Jay, and I hope he can win many more.
He says the highlight of his job is talking to you every week.
I enjoy Jay. I'm very fortunate that Jay enjoys talking to me. Together we have a wonderful time. He teaches me a lot about baseball, and sometimes I can say something that's worthy for him too. Jay.
It makes me tear up almost. First off, I love listening to Skip Bertman speak in general.
Well, yeah.
He's the greatest of all time. But him and Jay Johnson's relationship is probably one of my favorite things about LSU baseball in its current standing, because you can just see the respect that they both have for one another. Like, obviously, Jay was going to have that respect for Skip regardless. I mean, I guess he didn't have to, but, I mean, Skip Bertman, the greatest head coach of all time in general, not just at LSU. But that respect is returned when Skip is there glowing remarks about LSU's head coach, Jay Johnson.
Well, I think it could have been easy, right? This one? Could have been easy, right, for Jay to come in, not really realize what he's walking into, not seek out Skip Bertman, not seek out the legacy and the history and the respect and how do you win here and ask for literal leadership. It's like, I just got the LSU head coaching job. Like, what do I need anybody's help for? I know how to do this. Like, you see that happen in coaching all the time where it's like, that's the old guard. We're doing it this way, my way. And for it to go the opposite of like, no, I've revered this place since I was 12 years old. If you don't think I'm going to if I have access to Skip Bertman and I don't use it, I'd be the fool. And to see that be, like, it's, he had to win Skip's respect. He doesn't just give it.
Yeah.
And so you do have to go kiss the ring, in a sense, kiss the rings of being like, hey, I'm Jay Johnson. I know what you do here. I respect what you do here, and it would be a pleasure if I have, if you would help me in any way, in any capacities. Yeah, if you do that and you show you're reverent about LSU baseball and you see the way he talks about it,
right,
and you approach the game the right way, all ears, buddy. Come on in. And it's what that relationship has become. It's very father-son.
Yes, very much so.
Grandson.
Right there, sitting behind the screen. But 2 claps to JD for a great clip and to Skip Bertman for being the greatest of all time. Ready. Next up, I wanted to get everybody fired up this morning. So before
I was laughing at the same thing because Skip is giving this heartfelt answer.
I know. got the Rougarou behind him.
And I was thinking, it's like, is this goofy? But Skip would love this because he's the king of promotion.
Right.
Be like, you better have the mascot there.
Of
What are we
course.
doing? He's a part of the team.
Yeah, I mean,
and it did crack me up, the visual of this Rougarou, which I guess you could paint whatever picture you'd like for the Baton Rouge Rougarou, but it is a fantastic visual.
It is, no, it's awesome.
That's minor league baseball wrapped in.
Yes, 1,000%. To get everybody fired up this morning as we roll into the meat and potatoes of the show, give a little Ray Lewis hype speech here as he gave a little speech to the Ravens at practice yesterday. And it got put out on Twitter, and I wanted to get everybody fired up at about 7:30 in the morning listening to Ray speak. Because, hey, feel however you want to feel about Ray Lewis. The man can give a speech.
Preacher man?
Ray Lewis. That man.
Man, listen, it's special to see you guys every year. The challenge is this, right? What Mike is talking about. What will you do with time? Life goes. Life keeps passing. And one day, you're going to go back and say, what did I do with time? Did I waste it? Did I use it? Did I abuse it? I don't care what you have. It's how you use what you have. I don't care what's in front of you. It's the moment that you feel that I have to give everything I got to the preparation. So when the moment comes, I soar in that moment. This is where we're missing life. This is where we're disconnected, because everything else can pull you away from what you're supposed to be doing, which is your purpose. Talent is the easiest thing you will ever be given. It's what you do with it that decides your purpose. We're talking about a championship. A championship starts with a mentality of using that facility. If I was me, I'm over here at 9:30 at night because there's nothing else to do but go to sleep at the crib. If I'm trying to touch glory, if I'm trying to see the top of the mountain, what will you do with time? We don't have it. Savor the moment. When this team is built, when the last preseason game is played, and this team is built, and you're up on that podium, and you're standing there, and it's your moment, and it's 4th and 2, and I'm saying, I saw this hand before. If you do that same thing on me, because of my preparation, I will destroy your entire dreams. Proper preparation prevents poor performances. Stop riding on talent. Ride on purpose. Ask God every day, what is my purpose in life? What am I supposed to be doing? How am I supposed to lead somebody, even when we lose? Hold your head up high. I'm gonna leave you with this one thought. Every step you take, do you want to remember it yourself? Every motive you make in life, do you want to judge yourself? Because the game fades, bro. But what doesn't fade is the day that you host Lombardi as a champion and know the injuries and know the doubts and know the faults we went through. And we found a way to do it.
Anybody else ready to run through a wall?
We just decided he's going to be a head coach somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, somebody's going to have to hire him, huh? I mean, that talk about fire you up. Ray Lewis, little good morning speech, 2 claps, ready. But good morning to all as we roll right through hour number 1 this morning at 7:33 a.m. I appreciate you guys being here this morning. I'm wearing the Rowback. Don't forget about our friends over Rowback. The code is still live. They've got some new stuff dropping soon for the 2025 LSU football season. They've got some new LSU merch coming out, so make sure you use code TIGERS Tigers, code Tigers for 20% off over at Roback.
20% off, promo code TIGERS. I almost did Tingle because I was changing my time. Yeah, I was doing my time clock over here because it was set 6 minutes past when the computer shut down.
Oh, nice.
So I was so confused again. So it was 7:25 over here. You're like right into 7:30. I was like, stretching it. Like, oh, we're farther than that.
But yeah, the code over at Roback is still live. TIGERS Tigers for 20% off. Roback.com. RHOBACK.
New
drops
merch
coming soon.
Dropped and coming soon, as it is just in time for football season. Do not forget to get yourself decked out in some Roback. Don't show up to Clemson looking like a schlub.
Nah, look at that. Look at this.
Look,
everything you got 15%
you
on
can
top
get
of 20%.
an extra 15% off on
go.
top of your 20% off.
Check the merch out. Looks good.
And get ready to see.
You ready for some more?
Some more official drops.
Some more official drops. And we might even have some more surprises coming soon. Some other potential merch you can grab. But check that out. That Roback, TIGERS, 20% off over at Roback.com. We appreciate you guys joining us this morning. As I'm going to open up the discussion to close out hour number one with a question, Lloyd, that I'm going to ask you. And the chat as well. Please feel free to chime in. The question is, if the rushing attack for LSU stays the same as last year, what would your level of concern be when it comes to LSU's push for the college football playoff in 2025?
There's only two ways to look at it, right?
Yep.
If it stays the same, which I don't believe that's their intent.
Of course not.
This year. But I do believe that it will be judged harshly because it's a huge talking point. It's something that the fans have hyper-focused on. It's something that makes your pass game better. Does your rush game get better because Garrett Nussmeier decided to run? If not, if it stays the exact same, will you be okay with that because your defense is markedly better? And you're able to play the way that you played last year, but then get stops on top of that and just overwhelm teams through the air? That's the question to me.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's a lot of pieces that go – like LSU's struggles last year, the games they lost, were not solely the fact that they could not run the football. Now, was that part of it? Yes. If you're able to run the football, can it help cover up other blemishes? Yes. When we talked about the defense going into the USC game, we were talking about the clock management of the game. Like, that's how you wanted LSU to win, would be to be able to run the ball, use that offensive line you had to run the ball, pound the rock, milk the clock, and not have to have your defense out on the field all that much. You weren't able to do that, so then therefore your defense ends up on the field more than you probably wanted. So now it's kind of a script flip of you're really okay with your defense on the field now. You obviously don't want them on the field for a considerable more amount of time than your offense, but you're okay with your defense out there because you've made the moves to make it better. But I think it is a point of stress for this LSU team to have the run game improved. And so if they are not able to accomplish that, my concern level would be high. Because if you cannot run the football effectively, you handicap Garrett Nussmeier, you handicap this offensive line, and you somewhat handicap the receivers. And it's not a skill issue when it comes to the run game for LSU. You saw what Caden Durham was able to do last year. 140 carries, 753 yards, 6 touchdowns. That's 5.4 yards per carry for Durham. On only 140 carries, how many carries did Clyde have in 2019? I would assume it was more than 140, right?
He was your only running back, though, that year, it felt like, right? Like they didn't really mix in.
Well, see, that's my thought process on Caden this season. You know? Like right now, what do you have behind him? I mean, because last year you were able to split carries between him and Josh Williams. Durham with 140, Josh Williams with 117, which is closer than I thought.
Clyde? 215 carries, 1,400 yards, 16 touchdowns. It's also the greatest offense of all time.
Right.
55 catches, 453 yards, 1 touchdown. And we all remember that one.
Yeah. So it was 215 carries. So about 75 more carries than Durham had last year. And I feel like Durham is probably on that trajectory. Maybe not 215 carries, but 180.
Well, you have to consider health.
Right. Games played.
And I'm more interested in, the game log, because this is where it becomes interesting for me. And I heard Cole Kubelik talk about this, where you can't just run the football when it's convenient to run the football. You have to either set the fact up that you're going to run the football throughout the game, or get to such a point in the game where you're surprising them with the run in a sense. But it was more so you can't just pass it, get to 3rd and 2 and go, all right, boys, let's run it. You're becoming very predictable in that sense. Whatever, it's like you're not running to set up the pass in any way. It's get close to the goal line, get to the first down. This is when we run the football, right? Like, big boys, do your job. And whatever, the way he was speaking about it, because he's a former offensive lineman, is you can't do that to an offensive lineman after you've made them. He made the reference to Tua Tagovailoa with Alabama. Whatever, what do they do? RPO.
Right.
And whenever it's RPO and you continue, and Nick Saban said, if you're going to give one of the best players on your team and the best quarterback in the nation the opportunity to throw the football, what do you think he's going to do? He's probably going to throw the football. And so the offensive line looks up, why are we run blocking? We're not running the football. And then it became, all right, salt the game away. Now it's time to run. It's like we're not interested. Like, our mindset has changed because we haven't put an emphasis on doing it. It's hard to flip that switch of, okay, time to bear down whenever they know we're running the football and we know we're running the football. Like, we haven't had the opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
And so when only you do it a couple of times, it becomes much harder to find that grit and to be like, all right, let's move the pile whenever it's like, I don't even know if we're going to throw it or run it. And so LSU was kind of in that same boat last year whenever it became pass, really got to get one on 4th and 1. It's like,
right.
Oh, now when then everybody in the building knows we're running it, we haven't run it yet. We don't really know what we look like as a unit. We don't know what we're going up against. We haven't really run block yet. And so I do think that there's merit, and that comes down to scheme and play calling.
Yes.
Like you saw Will Campbell against with the Patriots, pull and pin. He can do it. There's no reason he shouldn't be able to do it. But you put yourselves in situations last year to where you became very obvious as to what you were trying to do when the pass game didn't work. It became like you relied on the run game too late, or you're like, oh, let's sprinkle in a run, or everybody knows we're about to run it. It wasn't a part of your offense. It was a crutch of your offense. And they talked about case in point is the LSU-Alabama game. Alabama drives down and scores. LSU on offense, first play, pass play, incomplete, Kyron Lacey. Second play, 50 yards, Caden Durham down to the 5. And then you go pass play, timeout, pass play. You go, 3 incompletes. Kick it. No, it was pass play, timeout, run play with Josh Williams, pass play to Kyron Lacey, timeout. Kick it. And so you get down to the 5, you run 3 plays, 1 run play, called a timeout, and still had to kick a field goal. And that was kind of LSU's offense in a nutshell last year. Like, I forgot about the timeout, and that has got to get – I think Braylon Moore fixes that.
That's why you bring Braylon Moore on.
But that is nauseating. To be at home, make a huge momentum play, get down inside the 5, have an incomplete – coming off an incomplete pass.
Right.
Timeout. Like, what are we doing? We're trying to run the ball? Hold on, let's make sure we get Josh Williams in. Like, we got to make sure all of our personnel is perfectly set. And then the more you do that, the more like, oh, they're bringing Williams in, the guy they trust in short yardage. What do you think they're going to do?
Right. No,
Oh, I'll let it go.
And the reason I bring the run game discussion up is because if I go back to my practice notes from Tuesday, You saw first-team offense, play number 1, handoff to Xavion Thomas as the running back. Patrick Payton, 3-yard tackle for loss. The next drive, Caleb Jackson stuffed. Juwan Johnson stuffed. Wildcat fumble, scoop and score by the defense. The next drive for the first-team offense, a short rush, a dump-off throw, 3 and out. The second drive for the second-team offense, Juwan Johnson stuffed. And then again on the next first down, Juwan Johnson stuffed again. They weren't able to run the football. And you saw it play a factor. And obviously in fall camp, there are a lot of other factors. We talked about that yesterday. But that's why I bring it up, because I feel like this is a similar part of the game where the fan base is going to feel the way they feel about LSU in a lot of different ways this season. I've got to see it to believe it. I feel like that's kind of the coin term when talking about LSU in 2025. Do you trust that the defense is going to be better? I think a lot of people are leaning towards that way of believing it without having to really see it yet. But a lot of people are going to say, I've got to see it to believe it.
How many times do you think Caden Durham had over 15 carries?
Twice.
Yep. And they were in the 20s.
And it was against South Carolina? No, Arkansas?
Yep.
And what was the other one?
The other one is the head-scratching one against Florida, where you absolutely owned that football game.
Yeah, I mean, time of possession, you rocked it.
But you couldn't score.
Couldn't score. So
that's it, but that's the other part of it.
Right, and that's why I bring it up of, like, you have got to be able – this offense needs to be able to run the football.
It's not like you have to be this dominant run team,
No.
but you have to be able to set up.
Not at all. But, I mean, even Durham's, like, his yards per carry last year, 5.4 yards per carry is – that's a first down every 2 carries if you're just going strictly off of math. But as much as his carries will increase, you're losing Josh Williams, who was your second leading rusher, 117 carries, 482 yards, and 6 touchdowns. So someone's got to fill that role. And that's why I feel like this running back room is in a similar position to that 2019 room, where behind Clyde it was Ty Davis-Price, John Emery, and then you had Chris Curry back there, which you didn't really use him all that much until Oklahoma, where it worked. But like I feel like this running back room is in a similar spot because so far through camp, you haven't seen Caleb Jackson or Harlan Berry really step up and grab that backup running back spot. And so a lot of it's going to fall on Caden Durham. And so to me, if that rushing attack stays the same and it's not improved, and your LSU's not committing to it, and when they do, it's not in the right time, the sequencing is off, all these different things that they struggled with last year, if those problems still arise, I still think LSU is going to be a very, very good football team because, 1, this wide receiver room is stacked, and 2, the defense has improved exponentially from last year to this season. But you've got to be able to take pressure off of Garrett Nussmeier's shoulders. P-Dub, I'll say it again. Caleb Jackson can run the ball, LOL. Why is that not an option? How many times have you seen it? Caleb Jackson last season, 44 carries, 150 yards. That's 3.4 yards per carry.
He got out, maybe got out the gate one time.
And so far at fall camp,
same thing. You've seen one highlight.
You've seen the one highlight. Other than that, like we've been there. I want Caleb Jackson to be good. I really do.
But yeah.
Like it would be awesome. Like you just said, P-Dub, 230 plus with a sub 1100 meter. Yeah, all the tools. It hasn't happened yet. That's why it's all falling on Caden Durham, because the other guys that you're going to have to rely on are Harlan Berry, who's a true freshman, who is still getting the physicality aspect figured out, but I think is going to be effective and impactful this season. But is it going to be between the tackles, or is it going to be as a split out wide receiver or a slip screen guy, or all these different things? Like they're not going to run Harlan Berry on 3rd and 2. I would love it if you can go on like right here from practice on Tuesday. It's 1st and goal from the 2-yard line. Caleb Jackson in the backfield gets hit behind the line. Now, look, I think there's things you can do to make Caleb Jackson a more effective runner from a scheme standpoint. Like you guys are saying, get him going downhill rather than making him run out of the shotgun.
Well, you can do this is what I'm about to pull up, the highlight that they put up. It's not the RPO or the quarterback choice. It is straight up pistol.
Yeah, like
This gets him going downhill.
and look what all he has to do is make
That's
one cut
that's
and
what
go.
he's used to. That's how he's played football his entire life. To ask him if I'm getting the football or not is really unfair to him.
Well,
And it's certainly something that you can learn. I understand that, but it's just at some point you are who you are. And Adrian Peterson, Leonard Fournette, the guys that he's built like,
right.
where it's give me the ball and just get out the way.
All right,
I don't need to think.
He's not Le'Veon Bell, who's going to take the handoff and sit and wait behind the line and find. That's not who he is.
But yeah, it just feels like that's because he did it for 6 years.
Right.
Where is he at Liberty?
Uh-huh.
All he did was they just turned around and handed it off to him. He never
Right, never had to be.
So if you're going to make an excuse for him, that would be it. If you're reading a defense and they're reading an end, it's like, I don't know if I'm getting it or not. So
Right.
instead of me playing football, I'm thinking about whether I'm getting the football or not. And now if it's a zone scheme, where do I go? And that's what it looks like he's doing is a lot of guessing and I don't know if I even have the ball.
Right.
And then when I get it, it's like, oh shit, I got to go.
Yeah.
This is
Easy. That's a layup. Mm-hmm. Fat Boy Slim. Wait, so now we complaining about not running the ball, bring back Lester Miles. Too far.
Whoa.
But, yeah, I mean, obviously there is a balance. When Les Miles was here, you were running the ball too much. Everyone knew what you were doing. Leonard Fournette's running into the huddle looking at Brandon Harris saying, please don't hand me the football. They know it's
Call
going
a
to me.
different play.
Now it is all like last year. I mean, you had to throw it 50 times against Ole Miss to win that football game.
And you can win that way.
You
and
can.
That's why you asked the question. Like, you can.
But
a lot of other things
watch
come
what
into
happens
play.
the 3 games just a little bit after where you've got Ole Miss, or not Ole Miss, you've got Texas A&M, Alabama, and Florida. Not really Florida, but especially Texas A&M and Alabama, where it's all on his shoulders. Johnny O. Goodson, this feels like an offensive line problem, not an effective running back problem. I told you, they've got the athletes in the running back room. But I'm not putting this all on the offensive line. To me, what this is, more than anything else, is a scheme problem. The run game issues last year were a scheme issue. It's shotgun, snap, handoff, go with it. They didn't change it. They didn't do anything else. They started mixing it up with motions or the pistol or these different things. And I think those things you should see differently this year. You should see a simulated run game where, like Andrew Messina said earlier, where there's dump-offs and slip screens and bubble screens and all those sorts of things.
You can have extensions of it, yes.
But you have to adapt in the run game, and they did not do that last season. You learned in game number 1 that the zone read handoffs were not going to work. You got lucky that John Emery was able to break a couple off. And then you got lucky against South Carolina that Caden Durham grabbed that job by the horns and ran away with it. And so to me, if you're going to be effective running the football, I don't think it's really a running back problem right now because they have talented guys. Caden Durham is debatably one of the best in the country. Offensive line, obviously we're going to see what this line looks like once we get there. But what I want to see is an adjusted scheme to being able to run the football, and I think you will.
Well, be run out of any
because
down
if you
and distance.
don't, it's a problem. What was that?
You want to be able to run it out of any down and distance, not necessarily like 3rd and 18, go pick it up, but 2nd and 8.
Right.
Still feel like the threat you have to run the ball to get it to 3rd and 2, where now you can run it or pass it. You have to be able to don't give a schematic advantage to the defense where they know exactly what you're going to do because it's what you're comfortable doing. You have to learn to get comfortable in the run game and be committed to it regardless of the result. You can't give up on it because it's not working early. then that's when if you're an opposing defense, you're looking at like they quit on the run game. Like
Right.
if they can pop one, that's fine, but they ain't going back to it. That's what LSU became.
Right.
And when they stuck to it, like you should have won the Florida game, but then that's the other part of this LSU offense that while it's all rainbows and sunshine, when you see all the weapons and you have your returning quarterback coming back and you see all of the speed and then you have Trey'Dez Green, simply put, you couldn't score in the red zone last year. You had plenty of weapons. You had athletes. You had the same quarterback. Now, do I think it'd be markedly better? Yes, but you had all those people that got you down inside the 10, inside the 5, but that's when the game gets hard. And if you become, now let's run it even though we threw it all the way down here, I don't think that's a result or going to be a practical way to achieve success. You have to be able to do both.
P-Dub, this
You
debate
can be
is
60-40.
This debate is wishy-washy. Are we talking about the scheme or the running backs? The
Scheme.
question I asked was if the rushing attack for LSU is the same as last season, what is your concern level around their push to the college football playoff? Which brings in all of those factors. It encapsulates the scheme, the running backs, the O-line, the quarterback. All of those things play a factor in if the rushing attack looks the same as it did last season. What would your level of concern be about LSU making that push?
And the scheme has to do with the players that are put in it and where they're put in it.
And so it's both. It's a discussion about the running back room because right now it's slim. You go from Caden Durham to Caleb Jackson, who just hasn't shown that he's hit his groove yet, and Harlem Berry, who's a true freshman. And then outside of that, you've got Jawan Johnson, who I think is extremely talented. But he's worked at quarterback all spring and most of the fall until JT Lindsey got suspended. And so, P-Dub, scheme is the number one issue. You have horses in the stable. I agree. You've got talented running backs. But all of those things have to come together. And so, to me, if LSU's rushing attack looks the exact same as last season, where, 310 rushes between Durham, Josh Williams, Caleb Jackson, and I threw Xavion Thomas in there as well because I think they'll use him in that same gadget role again this year, hopefully more. Last year he had 9 carries, 76 yards. That's 8.4 yards per carry. And so that's 310 rush attempts to 525 pass attempts, which would be what percent pass or rush is that? That's 310 over 835. That's a 37% rushing attack for your offense. And that's just encapsulating the entire season with those 4 guys. I would probably feel comfortable saying in the bigger games, that percentage was probably even less. Like the Ole Miss percentage, 52 pass attempts to how many rush attempts in that game? Alabama, pass attempts to rush attempts. Like that percentage, that ratio is probably even bigger in those games rather than just this entire season kind of number I have. But to go back to the original question, if the run game is not improved, my concern level is pretty high. Because what if you want to win on the road in the SEC, what do you have to do? And this season, you've got some tough SEC road games. Is it cool to be able to throw it for 50 times with Nussmeier and beat Ole Miss at home where you've got all of your fans cheering you on and having your back and stadium pulsing the opposing offense? Yeah. Well, now you're going to Oxford on September 27th. And I'm not scared of Vanderbilt, but you still got to travel to Nashville. And then you're going to Tuscaloosa. And then you travel to Norman for the first time. And that's just conference play. You've got to play Clemson in their stadium on August 30th. How do you win those games on the road? You play solid defense, and you've got to be able to run the football. Because you saw what happened when you're in a loud stadium on the road and you put everything on your quarterback's shoulders. Texas A&M last year. The stadium was bumping. You couldn't turn around and hand the football off. And everything fell on Garrett Nussmeier's shoulders. Now, I don't think he'll be making the same ugly mistakes he made last year. But those things happen on the road when you're under that much pressure. And LSU's got to go to Norman, Tuscaloosa, Oxford, and Clemson. And that's not even counting the big games they've got at home against South Carolina, Florida, Arkansas, or I guess not really Arkansas, Texas A&M. So you've got to have an improved run game. And the reason I bring this discussion up is because from what I saw at practice on Tuesday, now, it was fall camp. They do different things. Obviously they're putting the offense in a tough spot to be able to run against that defense. Are there other factors that are being balanced? Yes. But if that rushing attack is not improved, my concern level around LSU making that push that they have to make grows, because it's putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback, the wide receivers, the defense, but most importantly, the offensive line.
What do offensive lines love to do the most? Run block.
Run through somebody's face.
It's just easier.
It's so much easier.
It's not thinking, it's going.
When the offense is balanced, the defense can't just pin their ears back and go get your quarterback. But if they know you can't run it, what are those edge rushers going to do every time?
Can't run it if they know you don't
want to run it. You won't run it.
Yeah, you don't necessarily care about running it, because I'm looking at last year's losses. Lost to USC, and this is the one, I don't want to say an outlier, but it's the one that I feel like is the best balance of what you wanted to see. You went 30 of 39 for 308 yards, 2 touchdowns, and interception. Ran it 25 times for 113 yards, no touchdowns. Went for it on 4th down, didn't get it. Had an interception, that's 2 turnovers, and 10 penalties for 100 yards. That's the loss.
Yeah.
The 10 for 100, because if you go 30 of 39 for 308 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, and run for 115, I'm good with that. You should win that football game.
Right.
Kick another field goal. And then, in the other losses, Alabama threw it 42 times, you ran it 24. Texas A&M threw it 38 times, ran it 23. The only other outlier is obviously Florida, you ran it 44 times.
Right. But you didn't get in the end zone.
But the rest of them, you ran it 28, 27, 32, 21, 32, 37, 27, 29.
And I feel like this offense has the ability to
get it over 25 carries.
To be much more balanced, because they're going to be able to stretch the field out.
Like the South Carolina game, when you found Caden Durham, or pulled him up, whatever happened, played him out of necessity almost, 32 carries. Offense looked a little different, took some pressure off Nuss.
Right.
If you don't have that, you ain't even close. You ain't sniffing a W.
Johnny L. Goodson, the fact that this conversation is being had when we're 16 days away from the opener is moderately concerning.
We're just more of looking back.
Yeah, it's more of looking back and just also being like, hey, if it's not improved, what's the level of concern? I think the roster around that has allowed for this team to be better than last season. So I think this team the roster's not even an argument, is better than last year. So if the run game is not improved, I still think you would be a better team. But man, you need that rushing attack to be better.
Right, and
to feel confident moving forward, because you have I named a handful of tough road games.
And BD's right in a sense. The deep ball works.
Yep.
It lightens up the box. True. But if there's no threat of running the football, they're going to pin their ears back and come get you. And you won't have, you'll be hard-pressed to find time to be able to send it deep. Because if that's what you do, and you're true, if you hit a couple of shots over the top,
it opens it up.
They're going to have to change the way they play defense. And there's, the old school way of thinking is run the ball to set up the pass. You can pass to set up the run, and LSU is more than capable of doing that, but you have to want to set up the run.
Right.
You can't just throw and be like, oh, this is working, this is working. It's like, it's not a game of college football 26 where you're, like first down. It's like, oh, man, I've thrown it 15 times in a row. You have to be able to look at it and go, what am I looking at? All right, this is clearly working. I took a deep shot 35 yards down the field. That's what Chris Hilton's for. That's what Berrien Brown's for. That's why you have all of these massive additions.
Right.
Nick Anderson. You can hit them over the top, but then you have to be able to settle down and go get 8, go get 10, go get 6, be happy with 4. Like, you have to put sustained drives together. At some point, yeah, you'll hit them over the head in a 2-play drive, 1-play drive. But also, you have to use that ability to hit people over the top and be able to shrink it back down and go, open up the run game.
First down handoff for 4 yards, turn it into 2nd and 6 is a win.
Run it again.
Do it again.
You can't be afraid to, and they did this some last year, but it felt like they were more looking than trying to assert themselves, where they'd run it 3 times in a row.
No, I mean, I remember the what was it, the touchdown to Aaron Anderson to tie the Ole Miss game? It was 3rd and 10, and you handed it off to Josh Williams.
First down.
No, not a first down.
Did he not get? I thought
no. The touchdown to Aaron Anderson was 4th and whatever, 4th and 7, 4th and 5.
Oh, it was earlier in the drive.
Yeah, but like this.
So it did work.
Right, and so you went back to it on 3rd and 10 in the red zone and didn't get it, and so then the pressure's on. You got one play for your
4th
life
and 13.
Right, and so I just bring it up because it was an ugly segment of practice on Tuesday where the run game was not effective whatsoever. But obviously there are other factors that bring it in during practice. I just think it's an interesting piece of the team that we all expect to be improved, but you just got to see it. Jeffrey Maxwell, if we don't chew clock with at least a serviceable run game, Klubnik and co. will gas our defense sooner or later.
That's part of it too. Like, you put your defense into, I mean, you saw it, best offense ever, right? With a very good LSU defense that is much maligned, but I think people have kind of turned around on that. But during the year, it's like, what happened to Dave Aranda, the defense? They never played in that circumstance before we were scoring in 3 plays.
Yeah, they're having to be on the field all the time.
And so with that defense, which I would contend might be, for my worth right now, is better than this defense because I haven't seen it yet.
Right.
But the same thing happened because you're turning around so quickly whenever you score that fast. The defense is on the field the entire time. You get gassed. If you can't burn clock, it was fun to watch Burrow chew people up in 4 plays in a cloud of dust, and it's not a cloud of dust, it's in the air, and it's a touchdown. You're like, what is happening?
Christian Fulton's like,
right,
you put me back out here again?
I'm running on kick.
Right.
And so and eventually they found that happy medium.
Right.
But that is a real argument to be, hey, you can't keep putting us out here. But you got to be able to. On the other side, like, I know I'm talking about both sides, but LSU does have the depth that they didn't have in 2019 on that defensive line.
No, they are deep, and so I don't think.
So there'll be times when you could win the game like that.
Right. BD, remember the games when they motioned 0 in the backfield? Have they been doing that in practice? Yeah. No, I think Xavier Thomas.
Give Xavier Thomas his numbers
from last year. Mm-hmm. The rushing numbers were 9 rushes, 76 yards. That's 8.4 yards per carry, and they didn't even do it 10 times. So yeah, I think they're going to use that, and I think they should. I think it should be increased.
Well, that's just a way to get another athlete on the field.
Right.
Especially if you're struggling at running back numbers.
Well, especially if you're struggling with rotating all these receivers and giving them all opportunities to get on the field. I thought Xavion's looked great at practice from a receiving standpoint.
He's a good football player.
He's a very good football player, but you have a rotation of 10 guys. How do you get them on the field? Plus, you have Harlan Berry, who you're probably going to split out wide. You've got Trey'Dez Green, who you're probably going to split out wide. Like, you've got a lot on the outside.
All that tells me is that should be a major part of your offense.
Yes. Don't forget, every single day we're brought to you by CAS Roofing and Advising. Our guy, Pierce Patterson, over at CAS Roofing and Advising. The number is 225-910-0619 to call and get a free inspection. And if your roof is 10 years old or older and you are within a 50-mile radius of their office there on Magnolia Bridge Road, so if you're in Central, if you're in Watson, if you're in Denham, maybe even Walker, if you're within a 50-mile radius, which is a pretty spread out radius from their office there on Magnolia Bridge, and your roof is 10 years old or older, and you call our guy Pierce Patterson, 225-910-0619, to get a free roof inspection, you'll be put in a drawing for LSU football season tickets. So as much as we're talking about this team, if you want to be in the stadium, watch them play, 225-910-0619. If that roof is 10 years old or older and you're within that 50-mile radius, you'll get put in the drawing for those LSU football season tickets. We will take a quick break here as we are kicking off hour number 2 on this Thursday morning and be right back after this.
Mel Kiper.
Hey Tiger fans, when you're traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, make sure to visit Tom and Wright Granning at Go Mart and On The Go Deli, where you can fill up your tank and your belly. Go Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you may need on your trip. Located at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left. Also stop by Wardo's Po' Boys at 309 North Broadway on the beautiful Natchez Bluff, where the Po' Boys are so good you'll swear you're in Cajun country.
When it comes to your home, the roof over your head matters. At CAS Roofing, we don't just install shingles, we build peace of mind. With years of experience and a commitment to craftsmanship, our team shows up on time, gets the job done right, and treats every project like it's our own home. Whether it's a repair, a replacement, or a storm damage that caught you off guard, CAS Roofing is ready. We're local, we're dependable, and we stand behind every nail, every shingle, and every promise we make. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about roofing, it's about protecting what matters most. CAS Roofing, built on trust, backed by quality.
What's going on? Get out. Flat. Finish it. Put the coverage on.
Can Manning play? His last name would suggest he can play very well.
I haven't met one yet that can't play. From the grandfather, Archie, and Eli, and Peyton, the whole crew. So the answer is yes.
Simply for the fact that he's going to be in Sark's offense. Kid's ready for the moment.
Hey, Arch, I'll take that. Yeah, all day, dude, all day.
I've been watching this kid since he was in high school. I lived in New Orleans. He was at Newman High School. The hype around him, I think, is warranted.
There's no way he can't play because everyone in that family's always going to play.
Given his athleticism, his speed, the physical component he brings.
I think that Arch Manning is a national championship talent.
Can Manning play? Let's hope so.
Arch Manning can definitely play. I think the ceiling's certainly high.
Can Manning play? That's the easiest question I've ever been asked. He is going to be the most dynamic quarterback we have seen perhaps in a generation.
All right, hour number 2 officially underway. Fonz, boys, I know I'm usually not the most positive person when it comes to LSU success, but I went from thinking this team is going to win the Natty to I don't think they can run the ball. Not good, boys. Walk me back from this ledge. I didn't say they can't run the ball. It was just kind of a hypothetical of if it looks the same, what is the level of concern? And I think that this roster is better than last year's roster. So even if the rushing attack stays the same, 2025 LSU will be better than 2024 LSU.
Okay.
But I do think that it should be better. Needs to be better.
If you had to make a list of concerns. Would you go 1, what?
My number 1 concern?
Just straight up offensive line?
Yep.
2, offensive scheme?
Scheme, yes.
3, scheme in the red zone?
Red zone success.
Red zone success. Is that fair? 1, 2, 3?
I think, it's crazy to think that we're not putting a defensive question mark in there at all.
I think that's fair.
I agree. It's just the fact that
They're not
we
gonna be
haven't
the
seen good defense
2003
in a long time.
LSU Tigers. But
Right. We just haven't seen good defense in a purple and gold uniform since 2019. 2022 was pretty good. Last year was decent. You haven't seen a good defense since 19. So for them to be 0 question marks there, I feel like is wild. But they've looked really good. I would say it's probably right there. And I would say maybe even scheme goes number 1 on concern list.
I think you can out-scheme a bad offensive line. I don't think they're bad. I think they're serviceable, but I think you can out-scheme.
I think the scheme
You can hide some of your
is my
deficiencies.
number 1 concern.
Until it becomes, and I guess the best reference for this is like the Kansas City Chiefs last year.
Right.
You can scheme your way into a Super Bowl until you run into just a dominant defense. That is, it doesn't matter what you do, we're blowing up your offensive line. You can't get into what you want to do. And that's the concern against Clemson. If you get absolutely just neutered, then it is dropping back 50 times, and Nuss is going to be on the ground, and it's going to look, but then it's going to be a defensive, defense up. And I do expect it to be that at some points. But also, there's ways to get the ball out of your hands, get it out quick screens, middle screens, tight end.
And I think they're going to do all those things.
Yeah.
We saw them working them in walkthroughs the other day.
What I'm afraid of is that they put all of this in, and it doesn't work the first 2 series, and they scrap it and go, fuck it, we're not doing that anymore. We're going back to our old offense. Because that's very real. Like that when you have a young offensive coordinator and a bull of a head coach that's called plays before, it's like, I know what works. And you saw him step in, and we're running the football the straight-up old-fashioned way. And it wasn't a bad thing, but it does neuter some creativity in what you're trying to enforce. When, like, Joe Sloan wants to be able to run his offense, when you have all of these toys, you'd want to be able to get the ball out in space and kind of utilize them. But if they can't do it, that's when the head coach has to step in. And I think Brian Kelly learned a valuable lesson in that last year. Like, I understand letting your coaches coach, and you do want to do that. And I'm spurned by head coaches putting on a headset when they shouldn't have one.
Right.
Brian Kelly has earned the fact that he can wear a headset on the offensive side of the football. Like, he's done it before. He knows how to play call. He knows what he's looking at.
Yeah, but it's like, 2021, when you saw when Coach O's headset flicked up on defense and Durante Jones pitched a great game against the Alabama offense in Tuscaloosa. It was like, sometimes the coach doesn't need to have that microphone flipped down.
I'll go.
And Brian Kelly, I feel like I'm okay where he's earned that right to be able to.
Yeah, I just would rather see it in, like, the third quarter. If it's going poorly, or like maybe second. If it's going poorly, like you're 3 and out 4 straight times, like, all right, boys, we got to regroup here. We don't need to wait till half. But I would like to see you let your coaches coach. You hired him for a reason. He's been working more consistently with that offensive group than anybody else has. But at some point, like I said, you saw it started against, Florida?
Yeah.
This says an overshift, but still should have won the football game, because then you lacked creativity when you got into the red zone.
Red zone, right. No, my concern on that list of concerns you did, I would move my number one. My number one concern would be the only 2 things that can make this offense not work. Number 1 would be bad scheme, because you've got the playmakers, you've got one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the country, if not number 1, and an outstanding wide receiver room, a very, very talented running back in the backfield. If you can't scheme them right, it can be to the detriment. And then number 2 would be if the offensive line can't protect Garrett Nussmeier and keep him upright, you can't really have very high expectations. But scheme would be my number 1 concern. Now, if you're wondering why we played a Arch Manning video to open up the second hour of the show, it was pretty where was one of the some of the comments here in the chat. Seafield, why are they all stroking this dude so hard? It is pretty impressive the amount of hype and pressure put on Arch Manning at this point. And obviously it was expected with that last name. And I think if there's any young man that can handle that, it's the guy that's been coached by his grandfather and his uncles and his dad since he was born, to be able to handle this pressure. But man, the pressure, the clips, the sound bites in that video, and especially from Paul Feinbaum, who I feel like he is tethering himself to the success of Arch Manning, where you've heard him consistently go up there and say he's going to be the most, like this one he said he's going to be the most dynamic quarterback you've seen in a generation. And he said we played it when I was at the beach in June or July. He was going to be the best quarterback since Tim Tebow, most generational, whatever the term was. Paul Feinbaum is tying himself to Arch Manning. Man, I can't tell you the last time I've ever seen a player with that much hype coming into college football.
And it's been quelled. Like, to be able to have that much hype, and you have to wait. But look at the glazing on Paul. This is gross. He's a 19-year-old boy.
Did you guys see that? Whoa. Man, I tell you what, that is a lot of hype around him. And on FanDuel, I'm looking at the odds now. You've got the Heisman odds on FanDuel Sportsbook. Can you guess who the best odds are for the 2025 Heisman Trophy, Lloyd?
Happy fanboy shaking hands.
There he is. Say that again, I'm sorry.
The best odds for the 2025 Heisman Trophy.
Arch Manning
plus 750.
Oh, it was plus 8.
Then we've got a tie for second place, second best odds to win the Heisman.
Cade Klubnik, Garrett Nussmeier.
And then after that, you've got Jeremiah Smith from Ohio State plus 1,200. Ty Simpson plus 1,600. Lenore Sellers plus 1,700.
Where's Drew Aller? One day I'll learn.
Let's see.
No, I won't.
He is at plus 1,800, tied with Carson Beck.
Good, they deserve each other.
And then obviously you've got DJ Lagway plus 2,000, Julian Sayin plus 2,000, Sam Leavitt plus 2,000. So Arch
take it
at
or
the
leave
top,
it. New segment
plus 750. Garrett Nussmeier tied with Cade Klubnik plus 900. And I think the reason those two are tied is because when they face off on August 30th, you'll probably see the odds shift in whoever wins favor. If Klubnik wins, it'll be plus 600, Klubnik plus 950 Nuss. If it's the other way, it'll be flip-flopped. Those are
do you not remember the
Miller Moss, Garrett Nussmeier conversation?
Miller Moss, here's a guy that just did it totally the right way. Stayed in school, didn't hit the transfer portal. This is how you play quarterback. This is what it's all about. Like Garrett Nussmeier did the same thing, but since Garrett Nussmeier lost, it's no blame. Guess what Miller Moss did 10 weeks later?
He transferred to Louisville?
Hit the transfer portal. Yep. So Garrett Nussmeier.
And I think he was actually pretty decent at Louisville.
Sure.
But,
I'm sure he will.
Whatever that means.
Yeah. Well, beat Clemson.
Actually,
don't. Miller Moss, the Grim Reaper in my closet, killing my LSU season year after year.
There is those are the Heisman odds there on FanDuel. Nussmeier tied for second.
Nary a running back.
Arch Manning sitting atop.
What does he have to do to? It feels like Arch didn't have to do anything special to win the Heisman.
No, I feel, and that's what I was just about to ask you. What are your expectations for number 16 in the burnt orange in 2025?
Well, the fact that he already said he's coming back is unbelievable. Like, everybody, not even unbelievable. Like, I felt like that was the elephant in the room that wasn't really an elephant in the room.
It was kind of the consensus. I think most people figured
he was coming back.
He's going to play 2 years.
And so that's a great thing to say. This is a masterclass in PR, first of all. Great thing to say before the year so the conversation isn't even there. Right? And that he could still leave, but it's, oh, man, if I have one of the greatest seasons of all time, who am I not to, I know what I said, but nobody's going to blame me if I bring a national championship to Texas.
And if you don't have this generational season,
he's just still got another year with him.
Yeah, it was his first year starting. He's going to be back. You'll get to see it next year. I think the hype on Arch is crazy. I understand why it's had, because the Mannings are good at football. Like, it's not like it's just solely, like, the last name doesn't mean anything.
Right.
Like, they are good at football consistently. Archie was good. Peyton was good. Eli was good. It was unfortunate Cooper never got to really ball out, but I'm sure he probably would have ended up being pretty good.
What if Arch goes?
And Arch has looked good when he's played. It just hasn't been against considerable opponents and for a considerable amount of time.
What if he throws for 3,500 yards, 31 touchdowns, 12 interceptions?
Was that Quinn Ewers last year?
Mm-hmm. I bet they don't talk about him like they talked about Quinn Ewers.
No, not at all.
He's not a 7th-round pick.
No. I mean, now Quinn didn't look good for the Dolphins, but I mean, I think they would be happy with that season. I mean, it's that
stat line?
Interception number's a little high.
Yeah.
And I think Arch won't have that number because the one number he will have what was Ewers' rushing yards last year? Negative?
Yeah.
I think Arch is a much better athlete, and he's going to be able to run the rock.
Well,
but man, the hype is unbelievable.
You say that, but after last year, they don't have anybody behind him. Trey Owens, a redshirt freshman. I'm sure they're all solid. They have Mathwell Caldwell, a redshirt senior transfer. That's who they brought in.
Yeah.
Just in case. From Troy, Jacksonville State, and Gardner-Webb. But they needed somebody with some experience.
Right.
Because you saw what happened to Arch in the title game.
Yeah.
He got knocked out.
Got rocked.
Nobody talked about it.
Nobody
He was out on the turf, fumbled, and recovered it.
Yes.
It just fell about, the Manning graces just right back into his hands. But you didn't see him again in that football game because he couldn't see.
He was looking at.
And credit to him, he popped up.
Yeah, no, good. I mean, good on him.
But it was very evident.
But I also think a lot of the Arch hate.
I don't hate Arch.
Is forced. Me neither. I'm saying the ones that do.
Yeah,
I think he's handled. I saw a question was asked to him the other day, and they were like, what's the pressure like? When people your age are wanting to go out to the bar and do shots and this, that, and the other. And he was like, well, I'm 21 years old, so if I want to do shots, I can do shots. And I was like, wow, what an answer. You just don't hear something like that. Was pretty that didn't seem like a PR trained answer.
Well, it did. Be yourself to an
extent.
It
was, it didn't feel like the cookie cutter. I'm not concerning myself with that right now. I'm focused on football.
I don't go to the bar.
Yeah, I'm just focused on winning football games for the Texas Longhorns. Would be the PR trained answer. But instead, he's like, I'm a 21-year-old kid. Like, he's normalizing himself away from the name. And I think he's a likable guy. Now, do I like Texas? No, they're not a likable program. Sark isn't exactly a likable head coach. Is this the one he got rocked on?
Yeah. I just feel like he got talked about a lot. Ugh.
Yeah, he got popped.
Crumpled.
He was down.
He reached for it.
But yeah, no, he got crumbled.
But that's why I think that they don't know if they'll run it as much as people are maybe anticipating because, he's a big cat, but same thing with Nuss.
Right, that's what I was about to say. It's the same conversation with Nuss.
Was on that head.
We've said a lot, need Nuss to run it.
Need Nuss to show it. We don't need design
Do we really
runs.
We really need Nuss to run it? Yes, I would like it if he scrambled for a couple yards here and there and slid. Please, God. Slide, Garrett.
Use that copper fit, baby.
Slide. Because, it's the conversation. If he goes down, we're back to last week.
2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. But
it's scramble for it. I don't want to see a read option or a quarterback power with Garrett Nussmeier in the backfield.
No.
Because then I would lose my mind.
And it's not that I don't think he's athletic. It's just he's too important.
No, he's too important. Did you hear the quote from the Bengals offensive lineman when Shamar Stewart took Burrow down to the yesterday at practice? Which, first off, Shamar, let's calm down. Let's not hit the quarterback at practice.
Weren't you the guy that wanted to go back to college?
Yep. But so Joey B's getting knocked down in practice, which, of course, what it's going to do? It's going to start a fight. Have we ever met Joe Burrow? Now, I don't think Joe was the one that started the fight, but, Joe brings that mentality, and you can't hit the quarterback. And I loved the quote. Was it Ted Karras? Is that how you say his name? Karras?
Mm-hmm.
He gives the quote. He said, I love the intensity that Shamar brings to practice. But he goes, but that's all of our hopes and dreams right there. Which he's right. Like, there's not, it's not even a debate. There's not another position on the field that important. There's almost not even another position in sports that's that important than what the quarterback is to football. Here's Shamar coming off the left side, right up the middle. Loses his balance a little bit, but still, he's making a beeline right at Joe. And I'm assuming he clips him right there. I don't think it was a full tackle.
That's even scarier.
But it looks as if he clips Joey B here, which obviously starts a fight, which it should. If the D lineman is hitting the quarterback in practice, the offensive line should go take his head off. But I loved the quote that the O-lineman gave. Like literally just that line. That's all our hopes and dreams right there. No, it is. You can be as good of an edge rusher as you want to be.
You ain't winning the Super Bowl for
You're
us.
not winning the Super Bowl for the Bengals.
Well, not without him.
Not without him. Like Aaron Donald. He wasn't winning the Super Bowl by himself.
That's why you went to go get
That's
Matt
why they
Stafford.
went and got Matthew Stafford. And so that's where it's at with Nussmeier. We're like, don't run quarterback power because that's all of our hopes and dreams right there.
Thank God Shamar picked up his head.
Yes. Oh, my gosh. Took that knee out?
Oh, God.
Brother, they would have been mad in Cincy. We signed this guy? We didn't just let him go back to A&M?
Go back to college.
Send him back to A&M. I don't want him here. Taking my Joseph out.
This can happen. It's unfortunate, because he does fall. He stumbles. But
yeah,
we don't know how hard we'd be going to try to make a play here. Like, you're on the starting defense.
Yeah, brother, they drafted you in the first round for a reason. Just like when he stumbled, he should have just hit the ground. They weren't going to pull his spot. H-Town Creole.
Hold on, the best is... Hold on. In the live cut. 44. No.
Yeah, like, whoa, what are we doing?
Like, he knows, like, all right, try to make a play, cool, punch it out.
No,
not
not nine.
What are we doing?
H-Town Creole, the hate is because Arch hasn't done anything in college football, and he's the Heisman favorite.
Yeah, that is crazy.
No, I get it. That is crazy. But it's not Arch's fault.
No.
Like, I don't hate Arch for that. I hate the hype around. Like, I don't like the way Paul Feinbaum is beating the drum and pounding his chest for a redshirt sophomore quarterback that's never taken one meaningful snap in college football and got his head blown off.
But he's never taken. Like, he started games last year.
He's never had an important start in his life.
No. This is like if
outside of Newman High School.
This is like if Ryan Perley were the Heisman favorite after 2007.
Yes.
Like, played in some important games, important spots, started some games and looked good, but in no world going into that year would have been like Ryan Perley plus 800 to win the Heisman.
Like, I think Jaden Daniels 2022 for his Heisman odds to not be extremely high going into 23. Obviously, he ends up winning it, but compared to what Arch did in 24 to what it is, like, I get that. The media is going to overhype somebody, and it's going to make you dislike them. But I just don't, like, Arch hasn't, like, when you really sit down and you think about it, Arch hasn't done anything to bring on that dislike. It's just been the media. Guys like Paul Feinbaum. I think it's crazy the way he is about Arch. Like, listening to him talk about it. Yeah, look, Matthew, remember Jaden was plus 4,000 going into 2023.
Yeah.
But
I don't know what.
I get that part. I just think when you really look at Arch as the player himself and the person, he doesn't really bring any of that upon himself. Let me check this poll from the question we posed at the start of the show. It's now hit 100 votes, and we've got 4% think Georgia will be the one out of those four missing the college football playoff. 19% think Oregon will be the team missing the college football playoff. 19% as well, LSU will be the team to miss the college football playoff. That leaves about 58% on Alabama being the one team out of those 4 missing the college football playoff. We brought this up because at Speak Easy Sports on Twitter said you have to bet your bank account that one of these teams doesn't make the college football playoff. Which one misses the cut? Those 4 teams were Oregon, Alabama, Georgia, and LSU. 58% have Alabama as the team missing the college football playoff. Look, the replies had LSU as the favorite. When you look at these 4, LSU is the only one out of those 4 with a returning quarterback. Oregon obviously had Dylan Gabriel last year. Now they have Dante Moore. Georgia, Carson Beck last season. Now they've got Gunnar Stockton. Alabama from Milroe to Ty Simpson. LSU had Nussmeier last year. We'll start Nussmeier again this season. And so just off of that piece, and I think, do you think I put too much stock into the returning quarterback camp?
No.
Because I feel like it's become the most important thing in the sport, because when you look at the past national champions, it's been quarterbacks that aren't in their first year starting.
Right. It doesn't have to necessarily be a quarterback that did it Garrett Nussmeier's way.
Right.
Or Cade Klubnik's way. It has to be a guy that has experience, that got into your program and transferred in, that has played college football before.
Yeah, like Will Howard going from Kansas State to Ohio State. That, he's a returning quarterback.
Michigan, J.J. McCarthy, been there forever.
Right. It doesn't have to be somebody that's just that's grown up in the program.
Stetson Bennett.
But that experience is huge. And so, when you sit and you think about it, I think Oregon should be, as much as Dante Moore, it was not their starter last year, and he didn't look that good at UCLA when he played there. He's got some experience starting, and I think Oregon's just now kind of become a machine where, you plug and play. And on top of that, they're in the Big Ten, and I think it's just easier to make the playoff from the Big Ten because you're not playing that tough of a schedule.
Who do you play against?
Oregon's schedule consists of Montana State, Oklahoma State, Northwestern, Oregon State. They do play Penn State during the season in Happy Valley. They've got Indiana at home. They go to Rutgers, Wisconsin, Iowa, Minnesota, USC, Washington.
It's not the easiest schedule.
It's not the easiest in the world. They play Oklahoma State, which is a good Big 12 team. They play Oregon State, which is obviously like a rivalry game. They go to Penn State, is tough. They've got Indiana, who's a good program.
Rutgers is always chopping wood.
Yep. And you've got USC, who should be relatively good, and then you go to Washington. But I still think at the most I see 2 losses on this schedule, and 2 losses get you in.
That's a tough stretch, though. I mean, as much as I disdain Penn State, at Penn State, whiteout
Penn State's
game,
a tough game.
Whiteout 6:30, that'll be tough. And then Indiana, they're always going to be around. They'll play you hard.
Mm-hmm.
Rutgers, Greg Schiano will play you hard. Wisconsin, Brett Bielema will play you hard. Iowa, and that defense, and was it Kirk Ferentz?
Yep.
Play you hard. That's a tough stretch to have back-to-back.
It is.
And then you got the Golden Gophers and the guy in the tie.
PJ Fleck.
Another one who rode the boat, Ski U-Ma.
Yeah, and then you've got a Lincoln Riley-run USC program, and you've got a Washington program to close it out. Look, it's not an easy schedule for a Big Ten schedule, but they don't play Ohio State. They don't play Michigan. The only game I think they're not favored in is at Penn State.
Yeah. But that's just a tough, I don't think
it is a tough stretch.
That's a tough stretch.
I think at most they lose 2, though, and I think losing 2 gets you in.
Yeah. They just suspended
Georgia is
Oregon. Funny though. The trials and tribulations of getting into the 5-star game.
Yeah.
Former 5-star receiver Jurion Dickey suspended.
Yep.
We have 2 rules here at Oregon, which is great. This is not hard.
Yeah, 2 rules.
Be respectful and be on time.
Perfect.
Can't do it. That. There's some pieces of that where I felt like he needed a break from us and we needed a break from him.
Wow.
So that's where we could focus on what's in front of us now. Wishing him nothing but the best as far as success and wanted to see him get back to where he could be a contributor somewhere. That might be here. That might be somewhere else. Sounds like, see ya, buddy. But it also could be like, I'm coaching you through the media. This is fucking real.
Yeah. Next up, Georgia, I think, is kind of in that similar camp where
they lost Evan Stewart.
It's a machine. Yep. I think I would look at Georgia the same way. And obviously Lanning is building Oregon, really, in my opinion, based off of the way Kirby Smart and Nick Saban have built programs, they're building a machine. And I feel like Georgia is in that position. But Georgia's schedule this season, they play Tennessee at Tennessee. I don't think Tennessee is going to be that good, but obviously that's going to be a tough game going to Tennessee. They do play Alabama. They go to Auburn, and they've got Ole Miss at home the next week. Then they go to Florida, and they play Texas. But I still think if you, at most, I see 2 losses on this schedule. I think 2 losses get you in. But this is a tougher schedule than I expected for Georgia. At Florida, they've got at Tennessee. They play Ole Miss, obviously. They play Alabama, and they've got Texas. But they've got Alabama and Texas both in Athens. So I think Georgia would not be my pick to be out. But I do want to see what they look like with Gunnar Stockton at quarterback. The debate, to me, is between those final 2.
Remember this Georgia team that absolutely shelled Texas?
Twice.
For the first one, 30-15, that defense was like, whoa. Kirby
I was
Smart.
like, well, this is what it looks like.
Yeah, because they had just beaten. They lost to Alabama, beat Kentucky 13-12.
Right.
And the Clemson game was what? 6-0 at half.
Right. It was a tight one, and then they pulled away at the end.
So it was like you're waiting for it. So everybody and their mother bet on Texas that night. And the Georgia defense comes out and it's like, whoa, because it was Georgia at Texas. Pretty sure I went the other way. But that's when they threw shit on the field, and it was this whole, right?
It was a mess.
It was a mess.
A
but
pick
that
6 there was a penalty, and they threw stuff everywhere.
And then they were. There's nothing better than college football, right? When you're not involved in something like that, you're like, oh, they're going to overturn it because the crowd's in a frenzy, Bob.
Right.
But that Georgia defense will always be, as much as we focus on quarterback and what are they going to do on offense.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the way Lanning is building Oregon and the way Georgia is constructed.
Yeah.
There's not as much pressure on the quarterback because they have become a machine where you can kind of win despite your quarterback. Like, you won 2 natties with Stetson Bennett at quarterback. Nothing against Stetson.
Stetson's a good player.
I think definitely got a lot of flack just from the fact that he wasn't.
He graduated?
He didn't graduate in 8 years. But
he's still in the league. The Rams wouldn't have held on to him like they did if he didn't have talent.
Right.
He's been an easy cut.
So it comes down to me between Alabama and LSU because those are the 2 programs out of these 4 that aren't really a machine yet. Obviously, Alabama under DeBoer, LSU under Kelly just haven't become that same machine that Oregon is becoming and Georgia is. Alabama's got Florida State. They go to Georgia. They've got that scary Vandy game in Tuscaloosa. They've got Tennessee, South Carolina, LSU, Oklahoma, and then the Iron Bowl to finish it off. Really, to me, it kind of comes down to who wins out of those 2 teams, who wins the head-to-head matchup between LSU and Alabama. They're both going to have a bye week before. They both will likely have 1 loss going into that game. And so it comes down to who do you think wins between LSU and Alabama? The one that doesn't, you would probably put as the team to miss the playoff.
So it comes down to, Alabama at Georgia.
Right. I would say that's a loss.
Alabama at South Carolina.
That one's the sketchy one, where it's like, okay, if they lose that game, and they have 2 losses going into the LSU game, they are a team fighting for their life because 3 losses knocks you out.
See, we were talking yesterday that 3 losses could get you in.
Really?
That's what I did not agree, but
I don't think so.
That's just I don't think people
3 losses. There was 1 3-loss team that made it last year.
Right.
Clemson won their. Like if you win your conference championship, that's different. To me, it's you go 10-2.
They're trying to get it out large.
Yeah.
Because I don't think there's going to be a 3-win SEC conference champion. I don't think it's
3 loss.
3 loss, excuse me.
Right. No, me
not
neither.
3-win. Right? I
don't think so.
The way that then that's the other funny thing. As much as it's set up to like cannibalize yourself, somebody has to win and somebody has to lose.
Yes.
And it always just ends up being 2 losses, 2 losses, 3 losses, you're out. And that's where I think That's why I think there's been such a vital importance placed on Clemson, but I keep hearing that it's not people have talked themselves, it's not the end of the world if it's a close game.
Right.
But at some point you're going to be on the outside looking in because of a Clemson game.
Well, and the thing is, the only way
you can only lose one conference game then, right? Or am I being way
like
too
you could
pessimistic?
possibly maybe get into the SEC championship being a 2-loss SEC team, depending who you beat. Like LSU was still somehow alive last year prior to the Florida loss.
Absolutely.
And so technically, yes, you can still, like, I think a 3-loss team that will only get in, not at large, it's only if they are a SEC champion or
and
a
then you do
champion.
the whole song and dance of 3-loss or a 2-loss team, 3-loss team, 2-loss team losing the SEC championship.
Yeah.
I mean, we do the same thing every year because
Of course.
the system's broken.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's
They need to.
it makes it very, very difficult to kind of dissect what it's going to look like. Alex Futch, if your third loss is the SEC championship, maybe, possibly, because you did see that. I mean, yes, you didn't see it last year because neither of them, it was their third loss. But I don't know. I just think if Alabama has 2 losses going into the LSU game, you really, I mean, it depends. This is us kind of looking ahead. It depends on what's happened in the season, obviously. Your mindset is 10-2 when you feel safe regardless of what happens. Like that being a 2-loss team, you feel confident regardless of what else happens in your conference or what else happens in the country. When you are a 3-loss team, that's when you start picking and choosing and dissecting and trying to figure out how can we make this work? How can we fit in?
And remember, we got all excited about the first line of the college football playoff and its new rules. And it was like, oh, no, you still get an automatic bid if you're a conference champion.
Right. Yeah, no, you're still in, which I'm fine with.
Well, no, because you weren't. Remember, we talked about it because it was like it takes away Boise State being able to kind of get in just because they won their conference. It's like, nope, that's still a thing. So it takes away another spot, and that's where we get into that conversation of, is a 10-3 team better than a 11-2 team at the end when it's all said and done after a conference championship weekend?
Yeah, I mean, it just it's hard to structure a rule based on just records and not looking at who the teams are.
But that's where we don't know how they do it.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to try and figure out how they do it. My thought process is if you're 10-2, you're comfortable. Like that's just kind of the script I've gone by when looking at teams and records. Go 10-2, you are in a comfortable position to get in. If you are a Power 4 school and you go 10-2, you're comfortable. If you go look at the final AP poll of last season, or the CFP poll, a lot of the teams, or just look at the college football playoff poll last year going into the playoff. Clemson was 10-3.
And they won their conference.
They won their conference
and
got
getting in.
Or they weren't getting in. So, everything else besides that, you have nothing but 1- and 2-loss teams, and then Oregon, who is undefeated, getting in. And so that's why my script is 10-2, you're comfortable. 9-3 is when it gets dicey. 11-1, you probably won your conference. And so then, therefore, you'd be 12-1.
And that's where the conversation around Indiana circled last year because they were 11-2.
Yep.
And they lost to Ohio State. And that's it, correct?
Yeah, until the playoff game they lost to Notre Dame.
So so they had one loss.
Yeah, they're in.
And that could very well happen again. And that's where it's like there's a one loss. And one loss is different than 2 losses, but when you only play one team.
Well, yeah. Well, that's when we get in. That's when you get into the discussion of strength of schedule versus record, this, that, or the other.
And that's why the conference. And we were talking about.
And that's
this
why
last
it's
night.
messy.
Well, this is why the conferences are all have their swords out against the SEC because they know that.
Right.
They know strength of schedule versus conference games versus I thought wins and losses mattered. Like it's not who the best team on papers is what you did on the field.
Right.
It's like, well, it's who you played.
Yeah, no, there's a balance. They are still yet to find it. But I just think from my...
You know why they do this?
Yeah.
Get ready to add to the playoff, buddy.
Right. But I just feel like my script, the way I've always based it, is if you go 10-2, you feel good getting in. Just the way it played out last year, that's what the script was.
Mm-hmm.
If you go 10-2, you're in. And so if Alabama has 2 losses going into that LSU game, they're playing for their life. But LSU also could very well have 2 losses going into that game. So I really think when you're talking about these 4 teams, who gets in and who's the team that misses, Oregon, Alabama, LSU, Georgia. To me, it's between LSU and Alabama, and it depends who wins their football game. And right now, my selection would be Louisiana State University. Am I a homer? Probably. Call me that all you want. I think LSU's constructed to win that football game. Give me Garrett Nussmeier over Ty Simpson. And a very, very good, experienced LSU defense. So that would be my pick. Shout out Hunter Hall. If I'm picking out of those 4 teams, I would choose Alabama to be the one that misses out. Lloyd, LSU, Alabama, Georgia, and Oregon, who misses the college football playoff? Shout out to Speakeasy Sports on Twitter for posing the question. Got to bet your entire bank account.
Gotta be easy. It should be Oregon, but it's not going to be, right? Comes down to the 3 SEC teams.
Yep.
What do we know about Gunnar Stockton? You know?
Not much.
But they've been able to do it without that position before.
Right.
I heard everything you said. I guess the easy pick, I mean, it's probably going to be LSU left out.
Think so?
Yeah. I think that's the easiest call.
Yeah. I mean, obviously.
That's why they put him in there. Do I want to be wrong? Yes. But
right.
I just think the way that the Clemson game sets up, if you lose that, then you're already starting off on the wrong foot. You have to go to Florida.
No, Florida at home.
Florida at home. No, you have to go to Ole Miss. You have to go to Alabama.
Yep, to Norman.
And to Norman, but you've never won at Ole Miss in the last since 2019. You haven't won at Alabama since 2019. Never played in Norman, that I can recall.
Haven't.
But I'm not scared of them.
Me neither.
But I am scared of Mateer, unless he gambles on it.
Yeah, unless he gambles on the game.
But yeah, I think LSU.
Take LSU money line, John.
I think that would be the pick, just out of these.
No, I agree.
I think LSU makes.
I'm going Alabama,
but I just for the sake of this argument, because I can see Alabama, and I think they're better than people think.
Alabama is.
Yeah.
I'm not putting my stock in Ty Simpson yet. See what he looks like. But I think it's a good talking point going into the season.
Mm-hmm.
It just can't wait for the season to get here, so that's why we talk about things like that. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us, Hunter Hall. So LSU won't win at Clemson on Monday, and by Thursday, LSU wins at Alabama. Yes, the Kool-Aid has gotten stronger as the week has gone on. I just hate Alabama, Hunter. You know that. H-Town Krill, the difference maker this season will be the defense. They will carry this offense.
Defense is going to be stellar.
I won't say they will carry the offense, but I think this defense is going to be stout. And so I agree with you, H-Town.
I wanted to pick Oregon.
Yeah, no, I mean, Oregon feels like the one you would pick because it's Dante Moore and you haven't seen him play. And...
Yeah, I'll go Oregon.
Okay.
Like, I think they've gotten kind of out of the Dan Lanning system of coaching.
You think so?
We're going after all these big recruits, losing these big recruits. You lost your 2 top wide receivers. You have defensive ends that are committing and flipping. He's jumping into pools. Like, Dan's kind of lost sight of what it is to coach a defense a little bit. And
because now you've got Phil Knight's blank check.
Right, and I feel like that's become bigger than what the program is. So I'll go Oregon.
Alex Futch, why not UGA? Because Georgia is a machine that Kirby Smart has not stopped.
And whenever he loses, they get better.
Yes.
And they just added
the Branch brothers.
Yeah, both of them.
And
because you know what Kirby Smart heard all year, you don't have no weapons.
Yeah, and
I can go get you some.
He's won without top tier quarterback
He's hungry.
play.
So I'm not counting out Georgia, but I will
No,
count out. I'll take Oregon.
I will never count out Georgia.
Yeah, Conkle, the returning production on Bama's defense is alarming.
Yes.
Absolutely. Like I think people are discounting Alabama because of Nick Saban's gone.
It's not Saban.
Kalen DeBoer comes in and loses to some games that he shouldn't have, but he's still recruited at a very high level.
Yes, no, they have. They're not burning. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us here on this Thursday morning as we're going to try to connect athletically and do a little bit of trivia to close it out here as we are just chipping away at the days until game number 1, 16 days away. It'll be 2 weeks until game day this Saturday. God, I can't wait.
The closer it gets, the more it slows down.
Yeah, no, it's
crawling.
I feel like July kind of flew by. Shout out to LSU baseball. Made June fly by. Winning national championships. But yeah, no, it definitely feels like the clock is ticking a little bit slower now. That you can smell game day.
You can smell
what
BK is cooking
here.
Hawk.
Tiger Woods?
That is Tiger Woods.
Maybe, I don't know.
Cover of video games?
Who else would be the cover of a video
Kelly
game?
Slater?
Try it. There you go.
Nice.
Good job.
Amen. Oh, no.
Yeah.
What?
Penalty corner, coffin corner, amen corner,
yeah.
hot corner.
Dream corner.
There you go.
Atlanta Dream, Atlanta Braves. These two boys? No.
Georgia Tech and Georgia.
Auburn, Alabama.
And then it's Auburn, Vandy.
SEC boys.
It's SEC schools, man. Matthew Conkle, is this the day we end the show with Hickory Dickory Dock? No, it is not. Not close enough to game day yet. That'll be game week to really get you fired up and ready.
It's going to be every show
for LSU football. Yeah, it's going to be consistent. Little sound bites, just every now and again. You just got to hit it, piss everybody off.
Oh.
Middle of interviews, we got Jacques Doucet on the phone line, and all he hears is Hickory Dickory Dock. Dabo is on TikTok.
Oh, God, stop it.
Sickening. It's disgusting. But no, we do appreciate you guys hanging out with us here this morning as we are ready for the inaugural LSU football season for Tingle & Co. As don't forget, our guy Tommy G, Tom Granning, and Wright Granning of Wardo's Po' Boys on the Natchez Bluff. And Go Mart there in Natchez, Mississippi as well. They are the reason we are making that trip to Clemson on August 30th. We head out after the show August 29th, hit the road, get there Friday night, enjoy the day on Saturday, get ready for game time Saturday night, and we'll likely bring you a pregame and a postgame.
Likely.
Yep. You know, obviously there are other factors that play into that rather than just our willingness.
Like what?
Like internet, like
we got the Starlink. Talk to him about it.
Good. Doesn't always mean it's going to work.
Oh, no. That's true. That's what I got Christian for.
That's right. Yeah, we got Christian to work hard for us. Well, he only had 200 regular season receiving yards for his entire career. Oh, my gosh. It's Robert Pattinson and Daisy Ridley.
And her again?
No, it's not Sadie Sink. They must have... Whoever's been working on this is not doing a good job. They didn't change the question where it says Stacey. But, yeah, that's definitely Daisy Ridley again.
It's her mouth. Right?
Yeah, her teeth.
You told me how to spell her name. It's no
E. Yep. Yeah. Ridley. And then Robert Pattinson, the new Batman.
He kind of looks like his little fling, like when you put them together. Amber Heard.
Mm-hmm. I believe this is the Green Bay Packers.
I feel like I heard Rogers talk about this. Yeah. Oh God.
This is Cam Newton's season. No, that was
Yeah.
2010.
Well, 2011.
Yeah.
I know this.
You know this.
Got drafted by the Panthers. He's a beast. Blew up Oregon.
I can see the wheels turning in your brain over there.
Number 90, I think, or number 0.
Nick Fairley.
That's it.
Shout out Alex Futch. College basketball. Before flaming out at Louisville, Chris Mack went 215-97 as the head coach of this A10 and later Big East school from 2009 to 2018. Team that moved from the A10 to the Big East. Derek Brown was the recent one, Johnny L. Goodson. That was the one that Coach O was a big fan of. Xavier.
Nice.
Shout out.
Brian
Burgess.
And Johnny
L.
L.
Johnny L. Sony.
Yes.
Lloyd, come on.
I know.
This is your honey hole, brother.
I've never heard of any of these. They must be expensive.
Simply perfect.
I don't really read that part of it. I had to say that one. I mean, what would that be in Spanish?
I have no idea. Brian Burgess Patron.
Yeah, that's too rich for my blood. If it doesn't come in plastic, I don't want it.
While more known for films, this actor is currently the lead in Apple TV's Bad Monkey and has rolled last decade as True Detective and Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Tall guy.
Oh,
Isn't that funny? Vince Vaughn. Like, we're definitely getting beat on the buzzer.
I know.
Fuck.
I know we'd be pissed. Let's see. Third installment of this action comedy franchise on the film filled with virtual reality-based video games for Stallone as a villain and Elijah Wood cameo as the guy.
What?
I have no idea.
Oh, is it Sonic? Is that too early?
A virtual reality-based video game? Let's wait for the chat. They've been on a roll today.
They
Gage
have
Evans'
been.
chat is cooking. They are.
Who has kids? Who had kids in 2003?
My parents?
No, I did.
No, it wasn't a kid. They're 1 year old. Let's go to the music.
Spy Kids? Yeah.
Was
maybe.
Sylvester Stallone in Spy
I
Kids?
think so. He's been a weird villain a couple of times.
I'm trying to think. I watched a lot of Spy Kids. Let me think.
Spy Kids 3D.
Why can't I think of who Elijah Wood is? What else was he in?
He's the little hobbit.
So,
I don't remember him. I remember Sylvester Stallone.
have you ever worn wigs? Have you seen that clip? Do you wear wigs? It's hilarious.
What is that of?
It's one of the Hobbit guys interviewing the other Hobbit guy and pretending to be like some type of foreign person, and was like, "Do you wear wigs? Will you wear wigs?" And the guy, like Elijah Wood, was like keeping a straight face, and then just goes like bursts out laughing, like breaks character. It's hilarious. We make a move and act a fool while we up in the club. Nobody do it like we do.
Show us some love.
Show us some love. The Game and 50 Cent. I'm trying to think of the beat now because I did not rap that on beat just then.
This is how we do.
Yeah. Brian Burgess, God.
Yeah, he's
avid 50 Cent guy. I think it's just how we do. I don't think they include "this is" in the title, but it is what they say in the song.
This is how we do it. Nice, perfect, good day. That's a chat.
Chat was
Chat's
rocking
perfect.
Today. The chat was rocking.
That was fun.
I gotta find the "Will You Wear Wigs" clip now.
This is how we.
Because I'm pretty sure that's who Elijah Wood is. This is him, right?
No, I do not. Have
Yeah.
you worn wigs? No, I have not. Will you wear wigs? Maybe. When will you wear wigs? Do you wear wigs? No, I do not. Have you worn wigs? No, I have not.
He's already done.
Wigs? Maybe. When will you wear wigs?
He was trying to keep it together.
Yeah, they try to be a pro.
More power to him. But
we will not keep it together.
Vin Villy Wigs. We will be back tomorrow morning, 7 to 9 a.m. Close out the week. It's been a good one. Lloyd has died.
And come back.
This week.
How many lives can you have?
We appreciate you guys and all the support. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share. Get other people to subscribe. Our subscriber ticker has slowed down. You're not taking enough phones and subscribing
Get your
on them.
Butterfingers back.
We'll be back tomorrow morning, 7 to 9 a.m. Appreciate you guys. See you then.